Robert J. Conley here. Let's talk about intuitive passion. And it's going to take, to tell you right now, this is a windy road, but stick with me. All right. So one of my all-time favorite quotes, which I was lucky enough to learn about in, I don't know, at least 20 years ago, was by a psychologist who wrote a book. And I should remember the name of the book. I can't. His name's M. Scott Peck. And to paraphrase it, basically said, life is difficult. This is a great truth because once we accept it, we can transcend it. The fact that life is difficult no longer matters. Life is difficult. This is a great truth because once we accept it, we can transcend it. The fact that life is difficult no longer matters. So part of life being difficult is that pain and suffering are inevitable. Pain and suffering are inevitable. And many of us, me included, not so much anymore, because I shouldn't say not so much. I accept this as a truth of life. And it's very freeing. And I'm going to talk about that. So though there's still tons of folks who hope this isn't so. And, one of the credos that is espoused by many is, find your passion and you'll never work a day in your life. Find your passion and you'll never work a day in your life. Now, many hear that and think that means that they'll just skip to work whistling Dixie. I don't know if we can say whistling Dixie anymore. Whistling while they work, whatever. Skipping to work, happy, and that they won't suffer. But here's where we turn the story on its ear. What's one of the definitions of passion? And it's considered, I guess it's somewhat considered obsolete now, but one of the valid definitions of passion is, yeah, that's right, suffering. It's suffering. It's, now this isn't a religious lesson. I'm not here to teach a religion, but pretty much everyone alive, at least in the United States, is aware of the term of the passion of Christ, the passion of the Christ. And it's the story of his, it wasn't a story about him jumping out of bed every morning, just white hot with energy, so excited to be saving the world that he didn't even need to stop at Starbucks. No, it's about his crucifixion. It's about the price he paid for teaching a new way of looking at life, of looking at the world, of looking at your fellow human beings. And it was one of love and forgiveness. And these are the greatest gifts. And yet the price he paid was his own crucifixion. Now, fortunately, for the most part, we live in a time where we don't need to worry about literally getting crucified. But what is it that intuitives live to do? Intuitives live to introduce new ways of looking at things. And part of intuitive suffering is the disappointment that we aren't just universally welcomed and applauded and recognized as wizards and sages and just, oh, thank you for your intuitive insight. It's disappointing. But once you accept that, others can't see what you can see, you can now reframe what was M. Scott's quote. And here's how I would reframe it. The being intuitive is difficult. Being intuitive is difficult. This is a great truth because once I accept it, I can transcend it. The fact that many don't want or value or appreciate what I have won't keep me from finding the few who do. So this mindset is one that can liberate you and keep you moving forward instead of living in the suffering that they don't want what I have, because there are still, even though the number's few, there are still plenty of people looking for what you have. And so to put yourself in this mindset that my gift of intuition makes my life difficult. It causes me suffering. And at the risk of offending 80% of the population, one of the gifts of being sensing is that a lot of sensors aren't curious, aren't looking to improve things. They're much better at accepting the way things are. Now, don't get me wrong, they suffer too. They are human, they are alive, so they suffer too, and they suffer in that way. But what I want you to see is that one of your special ways of suffering is as an intuitive is the ability to see the disappointment that others can't or don't want to or don't appreciate, and then not knowing what to do, or trying to spend too much energy converting those not interested into something that you can see. And where you can start to become more powerful is to keep moving forward, to keep finding those few who do. And when you do, you will build, and then suddenly you will find there are actually many who do. But when you first start out, it never totally goes away, but when you first go out, you'll find many more who don't than who do want what you have. So keep going, keep moving forward, keep finding those people who want what you have, and don't let the ones who don't get you down. It's a choice. All right. Well, I'm just going to abruptly end it right there, but that's what I've got for you today. And I hope you all join me tomorrow. Take care.